When people realize that upon all the plots or obstacles that has come your way, you are still standing full 10 toes, living a good life, they will come in and find new information to even plan harder.
Hi everyone, welcome to my channel and welcome back if you're a subscriber. Today I'm talking about monitoring spirits and how people send old friends or just someone who's your type if they want to keep tabs on you or if they want to sabotage you. And something happened to me last week. I received a message from an old friend. This person and we haven't linked up or hanged out in about 2 or 3 years. So recently they texted me, hey, it's been a while, let's hang out. And I was like, okay, why not? It's been a while, I miss you too, let's hang out. So this friend of mine came over, we went to the beach. And on our way to the beach, they kept bringing up, my financial life. Just wanting to know how I survive. It was really awkward. Because I tried to change the topic and they'll bring up something that will circle back to that particular story or particular situation. I started feeling very uneasy, but at this point we're on our way to the beach. At some point I told them, hey, I feel like my head aches. I just want to rest. I rested in the car while they drove. We came to the beach. We settled everything up. We had lots of fun. We entered into the water because it was very cold and it's very warm here. We're in summer now and the water was very cold. So we just had fun. We had a couple of drinks there, just played with the sun, all of that. You know how friends hang out at the beach, talked about stuff. And they brought up again about my financial issues, but this time they brought up my YouTube. They're like, oh, I see you doing YouTube and all of that. And my real friends, yes, they do bring my YouTube up. Most of the time, I don't tell my friends about my stuff. But when I post it, somehow they support, like my real friends, they support. They ask me, oh my God, congratulations, you just started this. I'm very proud of you. And we talk chit-chat here and there about it. This friend of mine realized they see it. They don't say anything. They've never spoken about it. Never texted me. Never put a heart. Nothing. Whatever. I just ignored it. So they brought it up while we were at the beach. Like, oh, I see you doing your little YouTube thing. And I was like, what? My little YouTube thing? Okay. You're reaching, but okay, what's up? And they're like, how much money do you make from the YouTube? Like, just point blank in my face. And I was like, huh? And they were like, are you making any money from the YouTube? And I'm like, why are you asking me about the money I'm making on YouTube? And they're like, oh, I see you doing it and I just want to know how it's going for you. So I was like, are you even subscribed? And they were like, oh, you have to give me some of the money you're making on YouTube in order for me to be subscribed. And I was like, really? Okay. Then there is no need for you to be subscribed then. So at this point, I was getting a little bit frustrated with all of this. And they kept bringing it up again and again and again. And I realized something hits me at a moment like, oops, they're envious and they have a monitoring spirit. Someone sends them. They're not doing this maybe for their own benefit. I feel like they're asking to report to other people about how my life is going, because ever since I left my old job, I don't hang out with people from my job, okay? I don't hang out with people from my past anymore. I've cut off a lot of people in my life, especially this year, even family members. A lot of my family members don't know my phone number. A lot of people don't have my phone number, especially my WhatsApp phone number. I'm very, very selective about who I give my WhatsApp number to. And they're not the first person. A lot of people see me, they ask me, they're trying to figure out how I survive financially. And that is weird. Why does someone's financial issue or how their business is going bothers you so much that you keep asking them billion questions that relate to that in order to get a specific number? And that refers me to Samson and Delilah. We all saw how Samson was given this talent, which was his strength, and God kept that secret in his hair. And God told him not to taste alcohol. And this person gave me alcohol. They were like, oh, I noticed you like this type of wine, and I'm not going to mention which type. So I brought it. I'm like, okay. So I was tempted. I took a little bit and I started drinking it. Then a question came up. So I remembered something. It's like, something told me, something whispered, I'm sure it's my intuition. that you remember something. After he tasted the alcohol, he kept blabbing. Because alcohol is not good for the soul. It's poison to the soul. It makes you lose a lot of awareness. So I became aware immediately. My intuition just came through so fast. And shout out to my intuition. Because a lot of people lose touch once alcohol touch their mouth or their lips. So when I kept asking, I was very aware. So I kept pushing it back like, oh, why don't you start a YouTube? And we figure out how it's going to go for you. They're like, yeah, I actually have plans of doing that, but I don't know. Yeah, I just want to know how yours is doing. So I have a guideline. I'm like, if you want a guideline, my only guideline is start and be consistent. So I was just going in all business mood on them, and they kept bringing it back. So if I get to the number that you have, how much would I be making? I'm like, bro, now you're reaching. Okay, let's change this topic. We've been on my YouTube and my financial life for the past 3 hours, and I haven't given you any answer. You keep going back to them. So the conversation just became awkward when I just, angrily said that, because at this time I was very frustrated. I was nervous. I wasn't comfortable. I felt very overwhelmed. So I stopped drinking. I put the rest of the alcohol down, and they kept telling me, just finish your drink, I'm like, I don't feel like, I'm not thirsty. I just need water. So I took water, a lot of water. And when I got home that day, tell me why as soon as I got home, I felt this, like my body was itching me. I took a shower. I took a very cold shower. And for some reason, my right hand kept itching me so bad that I had knots in my skin. Like this tiny, tiny knots in my skin. And I couldn't stop itching that hand. I was in bed for 3 or 4 days. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I lost appetite. I had like this kind of fever. I felt it was kind of like a depression, but then I know I'm not depressed. I know everything is okay. I felt so drained. I felt like I needed 4 days to recharge. Yes. I just lost balance just hanging out with them. And I laid in bed every day crying and praying to God that I don't know what this person wanted from me, but their energy and my energy has drained me so much that I feel sick and I don't want to leave my bed. And I pray that whatever information that they got from me or they were trying to get from me, it sabotages for them. And that is to say that when someone wants you or wants to keep tabs on you, sometimes they will send someone from your past. You have to be careful. People pop out from your past just for no reason. And I love to use my life as an example because it's real. And sometimes it even shocks me that the things I talk about, I'm being tested in real life. That they pop on your life trying to act all charming and they have bad intentions for you. They want to sabotage you. They want to know what's going on in your life. And some people live for that moment of your downfall. It gives them pleasure. It's one of their guilty pleasure watching someone they perceive as successful or feels it's a threat to them, to their own insecurity, fall down. It makes them happy. It gives them that few minutes pleasure, something to talk about, something to jubilate. And you also notice that with some people, maybe you buy a car, you post the car online, and the next moment that car is in trouble, or you are in trouble with that car. Some of you post about your marital, your husband and how you guys are having fun, and the next moment, this guy doesn't even want to see your face anymore. You're heading for divorce or breakup. That's why growing up, I've really cherished living my life very private. Yes, I'll post snippets of, a couple of things, especially after days when it's past. I'll post snippet. I don't like to go full mood and post everything because I want to keep a lot for myself. Growing up, I've realized I want to keep a lot of my life to myself because people don't love to see other people do good. They don't love to see other people prosper. They don't like to see other people flourish in life. And this is how you know you're dealing with a monitoring spirit. Just like this friend of mine. When this person comes from the beginning, they are acting all fun and kind of like they're a fan of yours. Giggly, loving you, complimenting you, just trying to be a fan of yours. And as soon as they get your social contact, which is your social media, your phone number, and they add you on WhatsApp and they can view your stories or things you post, they stop interacting. They literally stop interacting. You wonder why. Like, this person said they like me and they want to be my friend. You know, we all love to interact with our friends. Like, we like our friends' post, we repost some of them, you know, we text them. But these people don't do that. It's like they only wanted the access to monitor you, to know the things you like. Because how did you know I like this type of wine? I'm wondering. And I realized, oh, sometimes when I go out, I take pictures of the wines that I take. So they studied that. So that gave it away. From the beginning, I was like, how did you know I like this wine? Like, sauce. So they were monitoring me so bad. So when you realize someone takes your social media and all they do is watch you and don't say anything, just know they will take time to plot on how to get you. And mostly how they get you is dangling your pleasures in your face. Just like the people wanted to bring Samson down, dangle Delilah in his face. They knew that something would fall for Delilah. Because they really sourced out who was his type. They sourced it out and they're like, okay, she's very beautiful. She looks like his type. Let's send it out. Let's send it to put the hit on him. And they succeeded. So this person knew I was a fan of that wine. And they set me up, dangled that pleasure in my face. Thank God. Thank my intuition that I was aware enough to stop drinking right in the moment. And I didn't finish the drink. I just took like 2 sips. And after the conversation started getting too personal about my financial life, like, ask me about anything. Why do you care about my financial life? As soon as it started getting to that, and I don't mind a question here and there. A lot of people ask me, my kid brother asked me about that, but he's not so obsessed with the digits. This felt like they wanted to, if I had given them the password to my phone, would have gone through my phone and find it out themselves. It gave like pressure, okay? And the same thing happened to Samson, where when the people couldn't come to him directly, they sent Delilah, and Delilah kept asking him, "Where is your strength? Like, you know, I'm trying to figure out where's your strength." And this person posed as a lover. Delilah was supposed to be Samson's girlfriend. She was supposed to be loyal to him, to have his back. But who was she? She wasn't on his side. She was just sent to put a hit on him and report back to the gang stalkers. And she dangled his pleasure or a taboo in front of him, something she knew Samson wasn't supposed to take, which was the alcohol. And as soon as Samson tasted that and got tipsy or drunk of the alcohol, he spoke, or he told her everything there was. And that is how monitoring spirits move. After they've gotten your number or any kind of contact, any kind of proximity to you, because they need proximity to succeed. As soon as they get that, they study you to find out what is your pleasure. Okay? They find out what pleasures you. So if it's clubbing, if it's partying, if it's whatever it is, if it's romance, they'll come as a lover. They might come as someone who is very fun and knows all the nice clubs in town, get you hooked, figure out who you are, and sabotage you. I've seen people like that. I've come across a lot of people who tell their stories about how they were very successful and they got attached, or they met this one friend, just this one friend, and their life just came to an end. It came to a disastrous end. Probably they are kind of like junkies now, or they are drunkards now. They've lost all their businesses, lost their family, lost their homes, blah blah blah. We hear that stories every day. It takes that one person to set you up for failure. And if you're not very conscious of yourself, you're not very aware, if you don't listen to intuition in the moment. I'm very in touch with my body. That's one thing about me. As soon as I notice something iffy, I withdraw. I just withdraw and I come back to my sense. I'm like, this didn't feel right. Let's check. Okay. Starting from the top. And I go all over. That is how I am. As soon as I notice something chilling in my body when I'm interacting with someone, I will withdraw. I don't care. I will just go silent on you in that moment, because I have to get myself together. I have to access everything that's going on. I have to really assess my body, listen to what it's telling me. So I went very silent on that friend at that moment. So that is what they do. They dangle your pleasure, they stalk you, and they sabotage you. So once they find out the things you like, they will go and report back to the group of envious people who are waiting for your downfall, and they're going to plan what to do. I've seen people start businesses and their page has been reported and has been taken down. I've seen it happen. You never know what someone has in mind for you or what they have planned. I've seen people be like, they started businesses on social media, and one time they opened the page and they couldn't get their page back. It was reported several times by strange people. Who do you think those strange people are? I don't think a stranger would do that to you, because a stranger doesn't know you. You actually inspire them, but it's the people close to you who wish to have what you have. Meanwhile, they haven't worked for that. Who would plan that against you? Be very, very careful. Thank God I was aware enough not to give them information, because I don't know what they're going to do, or I don't know how much of enviness I'm going to trigger in them, because they're already insecure. They're already coming at me, asking me about my personal life, which you're not supposed to ask people. That is so rude, to ask people how much they're. It's so rude. Have we all committed a mistake? Yes, I have committed a mistake before, but I didn't do it. Once I caught myself, I withdrew. I was like, oh, I'm sorry for asking that. I'm very sorry. That wasn't my intention. In fact, don't even tell me anymore. I've told the story of how I got, fired at work and all of that. I have a video on that. Those people still wondering how I'm still living life, still gaining weight, still carefree, still not stressing about money. They care so much. So of course they're going to come and ask me questions and try to find out how I'm surviving. I am expecting that, but not in that way. Not from someone I called a friend or I deemed as a friend. But in reference to Samson, I'm sure he wasn't expecting Delilah, who was his girlfriend, to take him down. But she did either way. She sold him for cheap. And that is why you should be very careful of people who come around you, ask for your social media, don't interact with you, try and dangle your pleasures in front of you, and once they get you hooked, they leave you high and dry, and they are nowhere to be found once you're down. Once you failed, mission accomplished. As I'm growing, I really admire people who keep their life very private, and I'll use someone as an example, like Beyonce. She keeps her life very private, and that is to tell you how mature she is spiritually. She's very spiritually aware. Of course she knows. She has a reason why she keeps her life to herself. Even as private as she is, people are still speculating about her kids. Oh, what's wrong with her son? Oh, what's this, that? I think he's sick. I think he's that. Sometimes people are just protective of what they love, and it has nothing to do with their health or anything else. They just are very protective of things that they choose to protect, and it keeps people wondering, people speculating. A lot of people wish to get into Beyonce's circle just to know how her son is doing. She knows that. She's keeping that as a weapon. She's not letting that out. I'm sure she'll let the son out when it's really, really necessary. And she'll make sure she capitalizes off of that moment. She's just strategic about that. Because she knows people are waiting to see some of her children be under a bad circumstance. Because she's very private. And because of that, people have their eyes on her. They have their ears to the ground when it comes to her. Be very spiritually aware and matured enough to not tell a lot of people, or even people in general, about things about you. Don't tell people. Don't be so enthusiastic about sharing. Be very private. Set emotional boundaries with people. Once people are coming off too hot and not taking their time to know you layer by layer and wanting to rush the friendship, you should be very careful. That should be a red flag for you. That should give it away, enough to give it away that this person doesn't want to know me. They came for a reason. They came for one or two things, and once they have it, I know they're going to just sabotage me and take my spots. Because mind you, those people want to take you out so they have less competition. You are a threat to them. They want to take you out so they can be you, copy you, do you better. Don't you think people who are high up on pedestals don't have competition? They do. All these celebrities we see, a lot of competition is going on there that we can't see, and some of them we do see. Even among the men, the women, both sides, people are competing for the crown.
So if you think no one is competing because you have this tiny life, think again. You might think you have this tiny life, you're living your own bubble. Someone wished to be in that beautiful bubble you live in. That life that you're not grateful for, someone wish they had that. Someone wish they could be in your space, in your life, in your light, in your aura. Being looked up at as someone very important, who has a good career, who has a peaceful life. People want that. You never know. Since you never know, you have to be very, very intentional with the way you make friends. Be very picky. Be very picky with friends. Don't just set emotional boundaries and physical boundaries, but also be very picky. Get to know people yourself. When people try to rush the friendship, take a step back. Withdraw. Don't take a step further to open up. If they choose not to open up and they want you to open up and they keep asking you personal questions, withdraw. Take your power back. Let them work hard for you. Let them work hard for the friendship. I believe in that. It's not just about relationship. People should also work hard for friendship. Yes, you should. Because friendship sometimes lasts forever than just our normal romantic relationship. Because me choosing you as a friend would determine my future. If I'll fall down or I'll still maintain my pedestal or my crown. It depends on the friends you choose. The friends you choose will determine where you end up in the future. Whether you be a loser or a winner. Your friends can sabotage you. They can give you good or bad advice. In which direction you go, friends can influence that. Your next step, your friends can influence that. You should be very picky. Set boundaries with people. Don't just allow any person who poses as a fan and validates you with a couple of words to win you and just you end up telling them your whole life story. It won't benefit you in any way. You blabbing up your whole life story and the tragedies you've been in is actually a loss to you. Why don't you wait? Let them get to know you and you get to know them. See if it's worth sharing all of that life stories to them. And I'm a fan of lying to people from the beginning when you meet them as friends. When they ask you things about you which are so personal, lie. Just lie. You never know who they are. Maybe the friendship will end in like 2 months or a year. And the funny thing is, these people, once they are done with you and God forbid there happens to be any fights between you guys, they have no integrity. They will throw all your secrets in your face. Oh, but you told me you did this back in this time. They will throw all of your secrets in your face for everyone to come out and listen. Be very careful, be very picky. And also the same as Samson. After Delilah cut the hair, she took it back to the camp, to the gang stalkers. And they chained him up. They disgraced him in front of the whole city. And I am thinking, in my own right mind, if I was back in the days and I had someone like Samson living in my country or in my town, I'll be like, yo, let's protect this guy. He's the strongest guy we have in this town or in this country. In case of something, he's going to be a weapon in our arsenal. We can use him to deter war or wrong people from this town. Let's protect him. In fact, if his hair is what makes him strong, let's make sure nobody gets close to this man. Nobody gives him alcohol. Let's give him a very nice castle. Let's protect him so nobody ever gets that close to him to cut his hair or to even give him alcohol. In fact, if I was the queen or the king, I would try to be his friend and protect him. But what do envious people do? They rather think the opposite and sabotage you. Oh, he's too strong. That's a threat to us. We could never be that strong. Let's take him out. One man can't be strong like that. Like, no. And they sabotage that. And I know he believed God is always with him and he's going to always be protected. Yes, God is always going to protect you. But if you don't use your common sense and you don't use the intuition he gave you and the wisdom he gave you, he's going to watch you fall down because damn, he gave you everything. There are certain things he can't give you all at once. If he gave you physical strength, at least learn about emotional strength. Learn about spiritual awareness also. Because God is willing. If you ask him to give you that, he's going to help you. He has given you physical strength. But he's not going to appear in person and tap you like, hey, give me the wine, don't drink it. No. That is up to you. You have your free will. So don't just sit down at home and be like, yeah, I'm always divinely protected. Yes, be divinely protected, but also work on yourself and pray as hard as you can. Whatever you believe in, whether it's the universe, whether it's God, whatever you believe in, that is up to you. Whatever practice you have that serves you, practice that. And stay close to whoever you worship. or whatever you worship. And with that saying, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and share with a friend. I love you guys. Bye.